Dozekar the Cursed is the boss in Halls of Testing, which is East Temple of Veeshan, in the Temple of Veeshan zone. Scars of Velious. He drops 4 items which can be used to turn in for quest gear in West Temple of Veeshan if you're allied. I believe you have to be allied. Some best in slot stuff in the Scars of Velious expansion for like everyone. I'm Dave of Daveland, and this is 72 Boxing on EverQuest Emulator, a local install on my computer. And today we're going to do Dozekar the Cursed in Halls of Testing. So we're walking through Temple of Veeshan. We're going to make a right and head on over to Halls of Testing. These mobs will not kill you. They will not attack you if you are liked by Sky Shrine. So you can actually walk here pretty freely. I would recommend closing this door if you have a raid sitting up here, because I believe these mobs will assist the mobs in here. I don't know if that's necessarily true, but you just got to be careful. It's a good place to summon everyone if you're doing summons. You just want to bring them right here. They're not going to aggro anyone. If you haven't followed around this channel, I will just reintroduce that there are 3 tank groups, 4 caster groups, and 5 melee DPS groups, and they're kind of put together in a way to where the characters mostly work together. You know, shaman of the melee, berserkers, monks, and stuff all kind of together, so they're all kind of work. You know, their buffs are helping one another out. Dozekar is behind that door. And I'm going to GM kill these mobs and the mobs in the area just to kind of do it a little quicker. But what you would do is you'd clear probably all of Halls of Testing. You know, anything. So Dozekar is in this room, so you're going to want to kind of clear all around it, because there are some pathers, and we don't want to get an Adder fighting him. What we'll do is, yeah, we'll do just that. Let's just kill some mobs. Do that. These guys drop quest pieces that you bring to Sky Shrine with some gems, and you can get Sky Shrine quest gear, which is probably the best gear you're going to get if you don't raid in Velious. You can do this area, you can do this section of the zone with a decently geared group. You'll want a cleric who has like an AoE heal over time, or at least a heal. You know, if you have that, that spell comes out in Luckland. So if you're like on a TLP and it's Velious still, you probably won't have that spell. You might have like an AoE heal or something, but it just... Oh, there's Dozekar. Sorry, didn't mean to go in there. But you can definitely do this with one group. I was friends with a 6-boxer on one of the TLPs, and his warrior was it was like in the raiding guild with us, but the policy was your alts don't get gear unless no one else needs the gear, and everyone needed gear. So he would come in, he would tank up his warrior, and then he would bring his 6-box crew in here, like in like a private instance or whatever, and just farm the crap out of it. And that's how he geared up his boxes. You pretty much do that all day. And I used to hang out with him, so I learned kind of the strategy for this zone from him. Always this section of the zone. So that's all the trash mode. I think we got everything. There's another wyvern around here, but if he adds during the fight, we'll just GM kill him. I'm going to summon everyone right here, and then I'm going to bring up Dozekar's stats, and we're going to have a little conversation about how to kill Dozekar. Here's Dozekar the Cursed. He is a interesting-looking dragon. He's a Velious dragon. Level 66. He has 386,500 hit points. He hits for 900 double attacks, so 1.1 second attack speed, and he is slowable. His resists are fairly low. He has decent magic resist, but with Tash and Mela on him, you're going to hit him with everything. He's not really don't need to worry about his resist. He doesn't triple, doesn't quad, nothing like that. He just hits for up to 900. His accuracy is really low. So you might think, is he hard? And the answer is not really. He's an easier dragon. He's not as easy as the West Temple of Veeshan dragons, but he does hit for 900, and that can put a hole in you. But really, the problem with Dozekar is Silver Breath, and this is the tricky part. He will decrease your hit points by 400 and dispel a buff, and this is unresistible. And he's going to do this every 12 seconds. So it's kind of like a DPS fight. Like, you have to kill him before he kills you, because you're eventually going to run out of mana and you're not going to be able to heal yourself anymore. So if you're not beating the crap out of him, his AoE will wear you down. I have no problem killing Dozekar anymore. There's 72 of me, and we're very well geared. The characters are in like North Temple Veeshan gear, and I just haven't killed Vulak at this point. I've killed almost every dragon but Vulak. Volume is not really boxable in every area. It's kind of hard to box, so I haven't done those two either. But yeah, Dozekar is, like I said, best in slot gear. In fact, I'm gonna bring up the Dozekar quest line. I want you guys to see why Dozekar is great to farm, whether on your own server or on a public server. I'll be right back as I bring up that quest gear. So on alakazam.com, for $9 a year, you get premium access to this website. I've been using Alakazam since the dawn of Alakazam. Come on, for $9 a year, like what am I complaining about? I totally can support this site no matter how poor or rich I ever was in my entire life. So these requests of the quest and test of the quests are all, and wisdom, all these quests, except for Conqueror, obviously, are all quests that you can do when you kill Dozekar and the other named drakes in Halls of Testing, and then turn them in West Temple of Veeshan. And these are all, for what I understand, best in slot for every class that can use them for Velious. So we have like the Mask of the Silver Eyes, which is good for your casters, has mana regen on it. We have the melee version of it, which has nice resist. Oh, here's another attack item besides the Belt of Doorslaving off Dane, which I did in a previous video. This is like the best resist item in Velious. Has 20 to all. This is a really high armor class shield that also has mana regen and resists on it. This is like one of the best haste items in Velious. This is like the best armor class earring and hit point if your stamina isn't capped out. This is the best earring in Velious. This is another best haste item in Velious that also has really nice stats. This is a very nice resist and stat other wrist. This is like the best AC range slot item. It's also not a bad weapon, but I personally put it in my range slot. This is a mana regen item in the range slot for casters. This is an attack hit point regen for casters, which doesn't make any sense, but it has high int and high mana and a little bit of resist. And then this is the priest version, which also for some reason has attack and hit point regen. And then the last but not least is the priest ranged item, which also has mana regen. So there's no reason not to farm the living crap out of this guy if you don't plan on moving to another expansion. This would be your primary target to gear up on, as long as you don't mind doing the quests. I would recommend having like a spreadsheet to keep track of who has what quest items, or if you just do it like I do, kill Dozekar and give yourself 4 quest items, that works too. Which I'm not going to do in this playthrough, in this video, just because it takes me a while to figure out who to give the items to. So I'm just going to kill them. So what we're going to do is keep the clerics out here. I'm just going to unstack everyone because I summon them on top of each other. We're going to just move them around. And we're going to fight them right inside that door and keep the clerics out here. So I'm going to turn the complete heal chain. I'm going to prep the complete heal chain. I'm way over there. I'm going to set the timing to 6 seconds because that's all I really need. I don't need a faster complete heal rotation. What? There we go. And then, yeah, I'm just going to put on Furious and have everyone charge in with me and kill him. So here we go. Here's Dozekar the Cursed in Halls of Testing. Furious is on, and we're going to run right in. And he's going to run right... He got called to 0, so he's going to summon me around a bit. So I'm going to start the complete heal chain. I'm going to make sure everyone came through the door, because they don't always come through the door. It looks like some people didn't come through the door. So I'm going to summon them one at a time. Summon Kevin and Richie and Roland. That's everyone. Okay. We got defensive up. We're going to debuff him. I'm going to try to kill him fairly... I didn't even have auto attack on. That's bad. I'm going to try to kill him fairly quickly because that AoE will wear me down. It won't wear Dave down. It's going to wear everyone else down. I'm going to get the debuffs and the dots on him. And I can engage now. Let's engage. And he does have this other thing that goes on the tank. It's called Thunderblast. And for whatever reason, I can't examine it. But it's a hit point mana regen, which is mana drain, not regen, drain. Which is why you don't want to fight him with a knight. You don't want to tank this guy with a knight, because what's going to happen is, unless your knight has a lot of mana, they're going to run out of mana, and then they might not be able to hold aggro, because if you're familiar with playing a Shadow Knight or a Paladin, you know that the best way they hold aggro is just snapping spells at the mob, whether it's stuns from the Paladin or, I don't know, dots, spears, taps. I feel like Shadow Knights are like the best aggro... Well, Knights in general are the best aggro holders in EverQuest. Warriors are so gear reliant on holding aggro. In fact, Norm is currently aggroed, and Jackie is now aggroed, and those are my Shadow Knights, and they're just stealing aggro. And in fact, I'm going to do an experiment. I'm going to tell everyone to back off for a second, and I'm going to see if they will stop fighting and get aggro back, because a problem I've been having is Dave loses aggro, and everyone starts dying. And yeah, you can see, like, they're still holding... I still can't get aggro back. Like, this is terrible. This is like... Alright, I got it back. That's how bad warriors can be. at holding aggro if you don't spend enough time building it up. So I'm going to go back and re-engage him. And granted, I didn't need to do that because Dozekar is not going to kill anyone. At least not anyone to the point where I'm going to worry about my raid. But it is a good idea to learn how to control aggro when you're boxing a team, like a raid team. Because if somebody starts... If the mob starts going wild, you have to disengage and have the main tank get aggro again. Because if you lose like 7 characters, because the mob's running around killing people, that's going to make the rest of the fight really hard. It's not so much problem in Velious until you get to like Vulak and maybe like try and think maybe the Sleeper's Tomb Dragons, but it becomes problematic later on when you have really hard bosses. Like in Plains of Power, the mobs don't have a lot of health compared to the Velious and Luclin and your relative strength, but they hit really hard, and they're running around killing your DPS. Your DPS can die in like 1 or 2 hits. So Dozekar is dead. And I'm just going to pause while I reset the macros and turn off the complete heal chain. I'll be right back. And I'm back now, and as you can see, Dozekar doesn't drop anything that has stats on it. It just has the tiers. I'll drop 4 random tiers. I forget how many tiers there are. So he dropped 2 serrated, a flame kiss, and a silver. And those would be used for the different quests that I showed you on Alakazam. I believe LTK, Legendaria the Keeper, is the one who... is when you turn them into. I don't think Gosram Tuck Corner might also have some of the quests. I always forget. It's been a while. I haven't done the quests like legitimately in years. But you would normally have like Warmly or Allied Faction on West Temple Veeshan by making Skies try and really like you. And then you come in here and kill Dozekar every single time he pops and do as many of the quests as you can. And I don't recommend doing it on your entire team, all these quests, because it would probably drive you nuts. But if you're boxing a small team, it probably wouldn't be so bad. Or if you're like level 65 or 70 and the items are still upgrades for you, you could 6-box them. So that's Dozekar the Cursed. If you liked what you saw, please smash that thumbs up button, hit subscribe, and if you'd like to see other types of content, let me know. And also, if you'd like to see me 6-box on live without MacroQuest, without macros, and just using like IS Boxer and doing like other types of content, my characters, as of the time of this recording, are in their level 50s. So they're still not very far in the game. I just started over. But let me know what you'd like to see there, and maybe I can figure something out. Until then, I'll talk to you soon.